What is going on today, y'all? Today we are doing pork butts. I hope y'all like pork butts or whatever. I feel like they don't get a whole lot of love, but I did want to do a video on them. This probably might be the only video I do on them. This one's really similar to the pork rib one too, as far as rub goes. I did these back-to-back days, and that's kind of all the rub I had. But I just wanted to show, same thing, same different rubs. There's two different. I'm using two different techniques at the end as far as pulling them. So we'll get into that when we get there. But yeah, on this first one, I'm using the Ginder again, which is the Worcestershire and mustard. I'm gonna have a few of these. I'm gonna have a few different binders. In this video series. I'm working on a brisket video. I promise it's coming very soon. I like doing this other stuff first, kind of getting my feet wet, kind of seeing what people like, and everyone's been really supportive so far. Everyone's been really nice and super cool. So if you've been watching these videos, thank you so much. I just wanted to say that right now. Like, thank you. I appreciate it. So I'm using the jub rub on these right here. Like I did with the pork ribs, but the jub rub is really great for these. I think it's really salty. I'm trying to get like a lot of that rub on. So you'll see it in that. And then we're gonna be doing the Meat Church Voodoo rub and just the store-bought black pepper again. I need to do one where I don't do the extra pepper, really, just to kind of see how it comes out. But I guess it's just my thing. I've just been using pepper for a long time, so I like that extra pepper on there, and I think it helps with the bark. I think it helps with everything. Like, just be a little bit more Texas-y, I guess. So with this one, I am kind of taking a little bit off. I'm gonna use this extra scrap for some other stuff, but I just kind of wanted to shape it up and make it like the similar size as the other one I'm cooking, because it was like significantly bigger. So that's why I'm taking so much off. But if you're just doing pork butt, you really don't have to take that much off. But I do recommend trimming like the bottom. There's usually like some cartilage stuff on the bottom, so you want to take that off before you put that on, because you don't want to pick through it once you're pulling the pork. You want to I just go ahead and trim it off. And rounding it up because y'all know that I don't like stuff to be too crispy. I like the good crispy, not the crispy, the good crispy. So yeah, I got the Meat Church Voodoo. I'm going with the McCormick pepper that you can just buy in store. I think this bark turned out so good, which y'all are gonna see later. But just the bottom side first. I like to take my time with the top and make everything look pretty, and the presentation is very important to me. So that's why I do the bottom side first like that. I really just take my time seasoning and stuff like that. Like this is sped up, but I mean it probably took me forever to season both these pork butts. I don't know. I just take my time. That's what I can really recommend to y'all, is taking your time when you're seasoning, getting really good at just having just seasoning it like exactly how you want it. Oh shit. Oh, I am recording. Okay. I thought I wasn't recording. I was like, damn, I just did all that. Okay. Anyway, they're on right now. I'm putting that big one back in that back corner. That's where I like to cook like the biggest meat. Like my biggest brisket would go in that back corner. Ribs, everything in that back corner. That's where the most of the heat traps. You're up against that wall. I love that spot. So they're both back there, and we're gonna start this fire. And yeah, I got some charcoal in there. I'm gonna get a lot of hate for that. I got a lot of hate for starting the other fire with the lighter fluid or whatever. But just me personally, I really don't think it's that big a deal. I mean, this is the ribs were a 6-hour cook. This pork butt's gonna be like 9 hours. I mean, if you think you can taste this, whatever flavor I'm putting in, I got the damper wide open, the door wide open. If you think you can taste this flavor on it, then that's you. But it's a very long cook. I'm just trying to get the fire started. I mean, it's 20 minutes of a 9-hour cook. I think it's gonna be fine. That's just my personal opinion, but I know how it is in the barbecue world and the barbecue community and stuff. And if you don't like this kind of stuff, then I can't recommend this channel. I'm gonna be doing a lot of stuff that is frowned upon, I guess, because I did all that stuff that everyone said was the right way to do it, and I wasn't happy with the food, so I just kept experimenting until I got to the point where I was like, none of that stuff is true, and I don't know why it ever even got started that it was. So yeah, so for the like next like 5 minutes is like me like doing fire stuff, which I think is interesting. I mean, yeah, I don't have a shovel. I just use my bare hands to flip those and giving it a little blow, and that'll help it get going. These are like some big green logs, and I think they had just been rained on too. So not the best to start the fire with, but it'll work. I mean, you can. I really think I can make anything like that. You just gotta either put the extra effort in, or just like have better wood, I guess. But yeah. So I'm just letting that burn. Kind of similar to the ribs, where right now I'm just starting the fire, like with the damper open, just hitting it with a lot of smoke. I'm not. I mean, this might seem like weird to y'all or whatever. Like, yeah, it might be more efficient to have the fire going and stuff when you put the meat on. But this is just how I like to do things. This is just me. So I mean, take it as you will. I mean, I'm not saying the other way is wrong. I'm just saying this is how I do it. I mean, if you're interested in seeing different styles and different ways of doing things, then I can recommend this channel. So I'm just fanning it a little bit, getting that fire going. The pit's pulling fine, and I'm actually gonna build a fire and show y'all kind of like how the pit kind of works and talk about that. So, but right now, see, it's not burning super well, but like I said, I'm just trying to hit it with a bunch of smoke. It's kind of just like cold smoking for this first hour. Just trying to build a coal bed, get some logs going, get some heat going, get some momentum going in the smoker. That's really all I'm trying to do in this first hour. See, pulling really, really nice. This mill scale's going off, which it always does. Every cook I've done so far, it has been so amazing. I'm so pumped up to be doing this and have this smoker. And shout out to mill scale for again. So yeah, so that's what that fire is looking like. I think I got to get back in there. Oh yeah. Derby hats. Get you a derby hat now. DM me on Instagram. I'm going to start shipping them out very, very soon. So Derby_BBQ. If you want one of these derby hats, I tie-dyed them myself. I think they're super cool, really amazing. If you want to support the channel, that is the place to do it. So just shoot me a DM. Anyway, back to fanning this fire. Sorry, this video is like I don't know if this is like super interesting or whatever, but to pork butt cook is not super interesting in general. It's just I figured y'all want to see the fire and what I'm kind of doing in this mill scale and stuff like that. I'm not gonna show the pork butts every hour or so like I did the ribs. But I think this is the first hour. Yeah, I think we're finally through the first hour. Yeah, and so yeah, that was the first hour. This is just another fire burnt down. This might be like maybe like 2 or 3 hours in. Another fire burnt down. Just use another log, kind of break those coals down, move these logs around with the other log, and throw a couple on across the top like so. Give it a good blow, and I think it just starts rocking. But I think this next clip is where I show y'all kind of like. So the blowing is just getting it kind of going, but the pit will do that itself. But we are at like, I think halfway closed. The damper's halfway closed, and that was just after the first hour. Damper's closed now, so it's not pulling as hard, but still really, really nice. So yeah, this fire, basically what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna show y'all kind of how this works, the pit itself. This is what I normally do when I'm not in a rush or anything or at the restaurant. So I build this fire, and I just let it sit. I let the pit do its thing. The pit is designed to pull. The smokestack pulls air from the firebox and starts the fire itself. Basically, like that is how this pit and how offsets work. So basically, in this clip, I'm just building a fire like so. Put the logs on, and I said I'm gonna sit my camera here until there's a flame, just to kind of show. I'm not gonna mess anything. I'm not gonna cut anything. So this is kind of a long clip, but basically that's what the pit does. It just pulls the air, pull, and then so say you were like, the damper was all the way open. It pulls air very, very quickly. So right now I have the damper at halfway, so it's not pulling as hard. So it's taking a little bit longer to start this fire, like start just a flame to come up. But if the damper was all the way open, it would happen a lot quicker. And that's kind of what I'm talking about when I'm saying like the damper is important, depending on like where you are in the cook and how you want your fire to go. If you want slower flames, if you want faster flames. All that stuff kind of depends on the damper, and it depends on how open this firebox door is. So I got it completely open because that's going to help with the damper. Since the damper's closed, I got to have the firebox door open. If the damper was open, I'd do the firebox door closed. I know I feel like that was a lot of information. Hopefully not too confusing, but like I said, I got a long series going, and I got a lot of stuff to talk about, and I hopefully it'll just all kind of click eventually. But there we go. So there is that flame that I was talking about. I didn't touch anything. There's just coals in there, and I put the wood on top, and the pit did its thing. And that's what I do. I use the pit as a tool. I'm not forcing it to do anything really. So we're 8 hours in, and I think it's about time to wrap. And look how good they look. I mean, we've been hitting them with a ton of smoke, a lot of good heat. I think it might be at like 300 this late in the cook. I think I did like the first hour just hitting it with a lot of smoke, not very hot, and then I think I went straight to 275, damper halfway, and then this last hour I've been at 300, just like cranking them. I knew it was about time to wrap. So we were 8 hours in. I'm gonna wrap these up. These don't look like as like split open as you'd probably normally see someone wrap them, but I'll explain that. I'm not too worried about that. So I'm gonna wrap them. So this is Derby style. This is the Jub pork butt. I'm just gonna put some white sugar in here, and that's pretty much it. That's it with the Jub. That is Derby style. Jub rub and sugar, and I'm gonna spritz the sugar a little bit. Just add some liquid. But so what's gonna happen now is I'm gonna put them back on. I'm gonna crank it until this sugar is completely melted with the pork fat. So it's not completely, the pork fat is not completely rendered or anything. I think I rendered the top fat pretty well, but I don't think I rendered like the internal fat. So when I open this one up later in the video, you'll see that it's like a lot of dark liquid from the sugar melting and it just mixing with the pork fat. So yeah, that's the Jub butt right there. And I'm just kind of not super tight, I don't think, with this first one. And then the second one that I put over, I think I tightened it up a little bit more because I really don't want any holes, because I cannot let that sugar, that sweetness that I put in there, like when it melts, there's going to be a lot of liquid in this foil, and I do not want to lose any of it. That's where all the flavor is, and that's what makes it so good. With this next one, the Meat Church Voodoo one, I'm just wrapping it with nothing. I don't think I spritz it. I don't think I do anything. I'm just wrapping it by itself, and you'll see at the end why. Look at that bark. That bark is nice. But a lot of times I think you see, they wait until it splits open and shit. But I just set the bark super well, and I'm not too worried about it splitting open. And I think temp-wise, it's probably in the 170s. But I think it's probably because I hit it with a slower fire and a lot of smoke, and I just like set a really good bark. I didn't blast it and make it split open like crazy. So yeah, those are going back on. Those are going back on the smoker. So I'm moving them up a little bit because now they're protected by the foil, and I'm not. It's not like I'm gonna burn like a crazy hot fire and like blast them with heat or anything. might as well move them up and get them a little bit closer. And it's been a long cook already, so I'm just ready to get this done. I think it's 1 more hour at like 300 with the damper halfway closed. Oh yeah, I think I built another fire. That's a pretty big one. Yeah, those are just laying across the top. Like I said, I really want this last hour to be, the end of it. Like, that's it. Don't look. Okay, cool. I was like, what am I doing? So yeah, I got a pretty big coal bed. I'm really far into this last cook. I got these just hanging out the cross, but I wouldn't do this if the meat wasn't covered in foil. Like that's kind of a fire I made. Just that was like 3/4 closed. It might have been. So yeah, here's the last hour. It's been at 300. You can see they look like they were smoked. The foil looks smoky, which is fine. And then I'm just gonna pick it up, squeeze it. I mean, I hope this isn't like a big deal throughout this video series, but I'm just pulling meats based off feel. I'm not gonna give y'all temps and stuff because it's just like it's very confusing. I mean, I've pulled briskets at 185. I've pulled briskets at 210. I'm not giving y'all a temp. It's just not gonna happen. And same with pork butts. Just feel it. I mean, if it feels tender, then it's usually pretty good to go. But I usually pull stuff. I usually pull briskets a little undercooked, I guess. But like I said, we'll get into that in the brisket video. But that's just what I get asked the most. So let's do this. This is the jub rack with that sugar that I was talking about. So now it's all like, well, you'll see. But it's all melted. There's a lot of pork fat. I tried a little bit. I was like, that's yummy. But with pork butts, what I'm really trying to do is, I mean, I think that looks really nice. But I'm trying to hit it with a bunch of flavor. So if you have a sweet tooth like me, I like a sweet pork. So that's that melted sugar and pork fat, and I put enough sugar in there so it'll definitely coat the entire pork butt when I pull it. So with the pork butts, I don't think they quite get enough love. I think if you're putting it on a sandwich, you're not too worried about it. If you're selling it by the half pound and stuff, then you should be trying to hit it with as much flavor and make it as good as possible. Like on its own, like a lot of people I think like still order it by itself and just try to eat it straight up. But and it's always like it just doesn't get enough love. But what you're trying to do is just trying to hit it with as much flavor as you can, and it doesn't really come from like spritzing or anything like that. It's just really what you do here at the end, and you'll see what I do in the other video. But I think I went and got some heat gloves because it was still pretty hot. So no, I didn't yet. But yeah, I'm not just like, and I think this is also different. I'm not just blasting it and then like overcooking the shit out of it, and then just having like dry strands of meat and then just coating it in sauce. I think that's what happens quite a bit. But I want to do it. I think I pulled it maybe a little under, but I mean it really, I mean it was probably at like maybe 190, 200 something. It's definitely not like undercooked where it's like not edible. See how it still pulls really easily, but the meat itself will be juicier. It won't be like just dry strands of meat covered in sauce. Because you can still get that texture. Like if it's dried out, I can see through the sauce that it's dried out. Because it just has that texture of dried meat. The sauce isn't just the same with tallow. Same with tallow on brisket. I can tell your brisket's dry even if you coat it in tallow. That's just me though. So what I'm saying is I didn't just overcook it. I pulled it. There's still a lot of texture to the meat, and not in an undercooked way, but more in like it's just not, like I said, it's not just falling apart. It's not just like all over the place. So, oh man, I think I said a lot that time. Damn it. I said so many times. Damn it. So that's the first one. That is Derby style. Anyway, that's Derby style. So now we're doing the meat church rack, or the meat church butt. So now it kind of broke open, and once I wrapped it, the bone pulls right out. And there's usually a little piece of cartilage right by that bone, so always check for that before you pull it. So that means, see, that's just the pork juice. I didn't put anything else in there. That's just it with the pork juice. So that pork juice was mixed with the sugar in the other butt. So this one, same thing. I'm just pulling it apart. I think it I think it is different than what you usually see. Like I'm kind of pulling it like this, but it's not like, it's just not overcooked and shredded and chopped. It has texture. It has a natural like juiciness to it. I feel like I'm gonna get a lot of hate for that, but that's just how I like it. I mean, if I'm selling it for a half pound, it's $20 for a half pound. I just want it to be like, have some texture. I don't want it to feel dry. I want it to be like a standalone meat that's really, 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 really good. So here we are on this one. See, it still pulls apart fine. It might just take a little bit more time to pull it apart, but it still pulls apart fine. So with this one, I'm gonna actually add the ribby sauce, which is what a lot of people do, is that they pull the butt and they add some sauce. But I'm also gonna add the rub again, because I want this to be like popping with flavor. I don't want bland pork butt. It's a big pork butt that sometimes that rub on the outside isn't quite enough to season the entire pork butt after you pull it. So sometimes you need the spices and the rub and the sauce again. You need it again. And this one was amazing. I was actually so blown away by this one. I was super pumped up. If I ever do a pork butt for an event or something like that, this is definitely the way I'm gonna go. But like every single bite has like just a lot of flavor, a lot of porkiness, a lot of sweetness, a lot of saltiness, and a lot of smokiness, and that's really what I'm going for. So thank y'all so much.